Now we'll have a real fight!
Hey there YouTube, it's McMahon1378 and I'd like to welcome you to the first episode of the Ritual Beast Guide. Now normally I don't do stuff like this, but this is a deck that I really like and I understand it. A lot of the combos that I do in the videos that I showcasing this deck in are kind of hard to follow, whatever, so just to get you guys going, I'm going to go over the cards, each of the individual cards, what they do, how many I think should be played in a deck, and in part 2 I'll go over combos and stuff, but for right now let's just start with the Ritual Beast. I'll give you my thoughts and ideas on each of them individually. So let's start with here, Apelio the Spiritual Beast. First things first, it's a 18 beater, 4-star wind monster with 200 defense. It's a pyro, so whatever that is. Once a turn, during either player's turn, you can banish a Ritual Beast card from your graveyard, and during this turn all Ritual Beast monsters you control gain 500 attack and defense. And then the last part of this effect says that you're going to special summon one of this card per turn, or one of this name per turn. So you're going to summon Apelio once a turn, special summon him once a turn. Apelio is our beat stick. He's the biggest main deck monster we have, so he's a solid entry at 2 or higher. His attack gaining effect can be used during the damage step, so there's always some great utility in that. He's a level 4, which gives you access to rank 4 exceeds in the extra deck, which I didn't put in here. Maybe when you talk over combos and deck choices, I'll put those in there for later, but for right now, we're just talking about the Ritual Beasts. So I would play him at a 2 or 3. In my current build right now, I am playing 3. Now we go on to Cannahawk, the Spiritual Beast. He's a level 4 wind monster as well, 1400 attack and 600 defense. Once a turn, you can banish a Ritual Beast card from your deck, and if you do, add that card to your hand during your second standby phase after activation. And like Apelio, you can only special summon him once a turn. So now Cannahawk is quite literally, in my opinion, the best main deck monster. He allows you to search your deck for any card in 2 turns, but we're not actually going to be waiting 2 turns. We're going to be using some weird wombo combo that we're explaining in the next video to really show you how great this card is and how much you can abuse the crap out of him. He's a solid entry at 3, no more. Well, if you play more, you probably would, because you want to open him, and you don't want to play less than him. You 3, always. Next up, we have Katinfin, the Spiritual Beast. Has 0 attack and 2000 defense. Is also a level 4 wind monster. So I guess you can see a little theme here going on. All the Spiritual Beasts are level 4, and there's another theme going on that I don't know if any of you guys caught on to just yet, but I'll explain after we go over the last Spiritual Beast, because there's still just one left. Anyway, once a turn, you can banish a Ritual Beast card from your hand and target a card your opponent controls. Turn to your hand. You can only special summon this once a turn, so like the other 2, it has that effect. Now this is where we kind of go a little downhill. If the effect was to do anything other than return it to the hand, I think this card would be a lot better. But already you have to minus yourself 1 from the hand, and all you do is put it back to your opponent's hand. So it's like, if it's vanities, I guess you can go off that turn, but they're just gonna set it again and do all their stupid shenanigans, and then activate it in your turn, and you're just sad faced. I mean, it does have utility. You can send back probably some extra deck monsters. Maybe Dante you don't want to trigger, or Virgil you don't want to trigger. You can send those back. So it does have its uses. Unfortunately, I would only play 1 at the very least, but I wouldn't play any actually. But we need Spiritual Beast names since you can only special summon once a turn, so you have to put this at 1 at the very least. Also, it has 0 attack, so it does have some utility with another card that can combo later on, which I'll get into next video. But this is a story for another day. After that, we have Rampengu, the Spiritual Beast. It's a level 4 wind monster, 1600 attack and 400 defense. Its effect states that once a turn, you can banish 1 Ritual Beast monster from your extra deck. And if you do, you send 1 Ritual Beast from your deck with the same type as the banished monster from your deck to the graveyard, and you can only special summon it once a turn. So, besides Cannahawk, this will probably be the second best in my opinion, because it allows you to set up your graveyard. It also gives you food in your banish zone for this card, which I'll go into when we get to explaining that card. And the theme that the 4 monsters share is that their attack and defense always add up to 2000, so I think that's pretty cool. Rampengu I'd play at a 2 or a 3. It really depends on personal preference. I'm currently only playing 2, but it is another name, so that's something to keep in touch. It's a level 4 like the other one, so there's your toolbox there. Sets up your graveyard. It gives you food for a Sacred Cannahawk and all that other stuff. Next up, we move on to the smaller monsters. We have Elder of the Ritual Beast Tamer. Elder is a level 2 wind monster with 200 attack and 1000 defense. Elder's effect states that after you normal summon this card, you can normal summon one Ritual Beast monster during the main phase this turn, in addition to your normal summoner set. You can only gain its effect once per turn. You can only special summon Elder of the Ritual Beast Tamers once per turn. So his effect is exactly like Casters and Pollock's, in that your opponent can't use effect failure, feed a chain, etc., to negate your effect of getting that extra summon. If they try to chain skill drain to his summon, they can't do it either. The only way you'll stop his effect is a face-up skill drain already on the field, or Solemn Warning, which will completely negate his summon. So yeah, Elder is, in my opinion, another one of the best cards in this deck. Ideally, you want to open up Elder and Cannahawk. Ideally, you want to open up Elder and Cannahawk for all your crazy wombo combos. This is your basic 2-card combo right here with these two, and this is ideally what you would like to open every game. And when we get to the combo video, I'll explain why. Elder, because you want to open him, you'll play 3. He's also another name. So as you can see, we don't have enough Tamers. We have 3 Tamers to 4 Spiritual Beasts. There's a problem this deck has of not opening up Tamers, so you want to play as many Tamers as possible, but we'll get more on that later. So for Elder, you would want to play 3 of him. Next up, we have Lara of the Ritual Beast Tamers. She's a level 1 wind monster with 100 attack and 2000 defense, and her effect states if this card is normal summon, you can target the Spiritual Beast monster you gave right and special summon it. You can only special summon her once a turn. So this combos really well with Rampengu. As you can see, she gives you something to throw in the graveyard, you special summon it, and then you can make a fusion. Yeah, so Lara is a solid addition, either 2 or 3. It's really personal preference. Last but not least for the monsters, we have Wynn, the Ritual Beast Tamer. She is a level 3 Wynn psychic monster with 1500 attack and 1000 defense. I should point out that all the Tamers are psychics. I felt like I left that out, and I should have said that. When Wynn is normal summon, you can target a banished Ritual Beast monster and special summon that target. So Hawk can banish monsters, and then Wynn will summon them back. So you don't have to wait the 2 turns to use the card that you banish always. Wynn is a great card, but the problem is she's dead early game because you won't have a lot of your Ritual Beasts banished. So I'd play her at 2. I would play her at 3 if we had like a better way of banishing stuff. Like maybe if Gold Scarfacus was at 3, I would probably play 3 of her. But for right now, I'm only playing 2. And for spells, we'll start off with the quick play spell card Bomb with the Ritual Beast. This card lets you banish 2 Ritual Beast monsters you control, special summon 1 Ritual Beast monster of your extra deck, ignoring its summoning condition. So this card creates some really funky OTKs, and a lot of people don't prefer to play this card, but I like it at 1 because, again, it does open up OTKs. I believe there is an OTK combo if you open up Elder and Cannahawk, which of course which makes a lot of sense because this is literally one of the deck's best plays. And ignore that, yes. I'm not gonna talk about that. Ambush Ritual Beast, which is our new trap card from Secrets of Eternity. This card lets you target 2 weak monsters among those that are banished or in the graveyard. One of them has to be a Spiritual Beast, and the other one has to be a Ritual Beast Tamer. Special summon both of those in the graveyard, but you can't special summon other monsters except Ritual Beast Tamers for the rest of this turn, and you can only activate 1 of this card per turn. So this card has, at first glance, has a lot of clauses on it, which aren't too bad. I mean, all you're really going to be doing is special summoning Ritual Beast anyway in a Ritual Beast deck, outside of like an Exceed or something. And even if you wanted to summon Exceeds like that, the best time to actually use this card is during your opponent's end phase, because you gain a lot of momentum that way, and you can do a lot of stuff on your turn. And also, you would use up the once per turn summon clause that each of the Ritual Beasts has if you use this during your opponent's end phase. And the last card, which is probably the best, one of the best cards, again, I keep using that, in the deck, it would be combination with the Ritual Beast. And if this card can only be activated if you control a Ritual Beast and you destroy any number of monsters on the field up to the number of Ritual Beast monsters you control. So first things first, this card does not target, which is absolutely great. Cards that don't target is always a good thing. And the second thing is the destruction and how many cards you destroy happen at resolution. So you can do whatever you want to change the number of Ritual Beast monsters that are on the field before this card resolves, and then you'll be able to choose from the number of Ritual Beasts that are on the field after the change happens to destroy, if that makes sense. So I forgot to mention the spell card should probably play out 1 or 2. This card can be played at 2 or 3, and this card is a definite 3, no questions asked. Each of the spell and trap cards are Ritual Beast cards, so you can banish them with Apelio so that you gain the extra 500. You can also banish it with Cannahawk, so you can search them in 2 turns. You can banish them with Katinfin, so use her effect to send stuff back to the hand. And now move on to the extra deck monsters. We have Apelio with a tamed Spiritual Beast. So it takes 1 Ritual Beast Tamer monster and 1 Spiritual Beast monster. So they contact fusion just like the Gladiator Beast, except instead of going to the deck, they get banished. So that happens. When this card attacks, it's unaffected by all of the card effects. And during either player's turn, you can return this card to the extra deck, so summon to target 1 Ritual Beast Tamer and 1 Spiritual Beast monster in your banish zone, and you special summon them in defense position. So you can tag in and tag out pretty much at will. Again, this is just the first one. It has 2600 attack, 400 defense. It's a level 6 Wind Pyro monster. Next up we have Katinfin, the tamed Spiritual Beast, and it takes 1 Ritual Beast Tamer, 1 Spiritual Beast monster, just like the last one, and it can be summoned by polymerization. You have to contact fuse it. Then it can be destroyed by card effects, and during a player's turn, you can tag it out and special summon a Ritual Beast monster, Spiritual Beast monster, and a Ritual Beast Tamer from your banish zone in defense position. And last but not least, we have the best fusion, Cannahawk, the tame Ritual Beast, Spiritual Beast. Like the last two, it requires a Spiritual Beast and a Ritual Beast Tamer, and can be summoned with polymerization. You banish 2 monsters on the field. You can also like banish them face down. Like if you would tag a GB out, it's kind of really funny, and you get your opponent really mad when you do stuff like that. Once a turn, you can target 2 of your banished Ritual Beast cards, return them to the graveyard, and if you do, add 1 Ritual Beast card from your deck to your hand. And then during either player's turn, you can always tag it out, special summon a Spiritual Beast and a Ritual Beast Tamer. So now, some fun things to note about this card effect is returning the 2 to the graveyard. Only one of them has to hit the graveyard in order to get the search effect, so that creates some pretty nifty combos you can do later on again, which I'll explain later. So this deck, in my opinion, it has a ton of potential. It has a good matchup against Necroz. It has a good matchup against, I guess, Yosenju, if that's even going to be relevant. Burning Abyss, I've only played like 1 or 2 of them. I lost one and won the other, so I can't really tell you how it went. When I won the match, I opened up Elder Cannahawk, so naturally I thought I was going to win that anyway. And when I lost, I bricked, so I don't really know how to say how that matchup goes. Against Cleaforts, you're really going to take advantage of the fact that they're paying life points with skill drains and Scout or Tool. I think it's Scout in the TCG. So there's that. Shadows. A nifty little thing is if you chain their effects, the fusion's effects to Shadow Fusion, they are forced to fuse from their hand and field, and if they can't, then the Shadow Fusion just fizzles. So that will get you a lot of, you know, funny little. There's a cool trick you can do with them or whatever. The problem with this deck that I see, other than consistency, because you really need a Tamer and a Spiritual Beast if you want to do anything with the deck, is you can't really get over anything that's over 26. So right off the bat, Killer is a problem. I think Towers is what got renamed to whatever. It doesn't matter. So Towers is a problem to get over. Anything that's over 26 is a problem to get over. And I know what you're thinking. You can use Apelio to make him 31, right? No, since Sacred Apelio doesn't care what effect is affecting him. It's just unaffected period when he's attacking. So he's going to be 26. There's nothing you can do about it. There are ways to get over Killer using this deck, though, with some outside help, of course. The whole deck is win, and of course it resolves into banish zone, so cards like Tempest, fit in well in here. It's also kind of graveyard reliant and banish zone reliant, so you can easily play cards like Goatshark and Foolish Burial. These cards help you out immensely in setting up the deck. So yeah, that's pretty much all I have to say for right now. Look forward for the next video in which I'll explain some combos you can do and some tech choices, some card choices you can play. I'm probably going to do all that. I'm predicting this to be like a 3-series video, and I'll end it with my deck profile at the end of my own personal Spirit Beast deck. So, you know, keep looking out for that, I guess. make sure to follow me on Twitter. I'm always posting stuff that I find relevant about the deck. Make sure if you want to, you can follow me on DN. You can watch a game or two, something. I don't mind. Make sure you also leave a like, a favorite, comment down below. These stuff actually really do help in getting my videos out there and getting my name out there, which is something, well, I just want to be out there. I'm gonna be honest, just really want to see my channel take off and do things and all that. So it's kind of selfish in a way, but fudge it. I'm gonna speak my mind. Anyway, YouTube is Mega Man 1 through 78, logging out.